Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to deploy 10,000 NFTs for Mint on the Solana network. And first thing you want to do is open a new terminal on VS Code. And obviously make sure you have Node.js installed. And we also want to have Git installed. So you can type sudo npm install git, and then you can type in your password. Right, so now that this is done, we want to go onto the Metaplex website and then click on that button right here. And similar to one of my first video, we want to clone the project. So I'll copy the URL right here. And then in VS Code, in my terminal, I can type git clone and paste the URL that I've just copied. So now the folder has been created. So we can go into Explorer right here. And then we want to open the folder that we've created. So you can click open, right? And now we want to open a new terminal. And we'll run the command npm install -g ts-node. Right, so this is done. And we also want to make sure that we have the Solana tool suite installed on our computer. So we can go into the Solana documentation right here for macOS and Linux. And then paste the command line right here and then enter. Right, so now we also want to update our path variable, so we can do export and then copy the line here and then paste and enter. So this is updated. And another thing that we want to make sure of is that we are on the devnet. So we can go back to the Solana documentation and we'll copy the line right here. So see, it's Solana config set URL to the devnet. So go back to VS Code and copy the line. And you can see here on the devnet now. So now that we've done this, we also want to create a wallet and generate a key pair. So what we can do is run the command Solana -keygen, Solana keygen new -auth file. And then obviously for security reason, we don't want to create the file in our Metaplex folder, but I'll create that file at the root of my computer, but you can create it anywhere actually. So I'll call it, let's say, crypto-scraper.json. So now this is asking me for a passphrase, but I won't put anything for now. Now I'll just enter. Right, so once this is done, we want to save the public key right here. So I'm gonna save it in a Word document, and you can also save the seed phrase here. And then we need to run a new command, which is Solana config set keypair, and then we need to input the path to the file that we've just created. So crypto-scraper.json. Right, so now this is done. And this is a new wallet and we don't have any SOL in our account. So we can request some SOL to the devnet by typing Solana airdrop. And then let's say we want to request 5 SOL. So it's requesting right now. So if you were on the mainnet, you would need to send real SOL from an exchange to the public key that we've just generated. So now we need to create a new folder and we'll call it assets. And if you look at the part 1 of my video, I showed you how to generate the 10,000 PNGs as well as the 10,000 JSON files. So we can copy and paste them into this folder. So I'm gonna do that right now. See, this is from my previous video. So I can copy in the folder that I've just created right here. And we don't need the metadata.json, so I'm just going to move that to the bin. So right, so now that this is done, we need to move into the JS folder with our terminal. So what we can do is cd JS. So now we are in the JS folder right here, and we need to run yarn install. Right, so now that this is done, we need to now run yarn build, still in the same folder. Right, so now that this is done, we finally want to run yarn bootstrap. So yarn bootstrap. Right, so now we've installed and built and bootstrap yarn. We want to up a folder, so we can type cd dot dot. So now we're back in the Metaplex folder. And so the first thing we want to do is upload the assets that we have in our assets folder and obviously create our candy machine. So I'm gonna copy and paste that command, and obviously I'll give it to you on the description. And you can see here the path is the JSON files that we've created earlier. So it's processing the files right now for upload. And it might take some time depending on the number of files that you have. So if you have 10,000 files, it actually might take a few hours. Right, so this is done. So I'm gonna take back the Word file that I had, actually. So first we need to copy this candy machine with public key. So I'm gonna copy here, and that one I'll call it wallet public key, like this. So you can see now there's a new file that was just created, and inside there's a new folder, and inside is a new file where you can see all the assets that were just created. So config is the candy machine public key here, and then you can see for asset 0 it's the URL from our weave right here, and then So you have it for all assets. And then if you look at the authority, it's my wallet public key that we've just created. So now that we have that, another thing that we want to do is set the price. So I can copy this new command line. You can see here this price, and you can set the price right here. So I'll put 0.1 SOL for now. Right, so this is done. So the thing that we want to do again is save the Candy Machine new public key, which is here. So I'll save it here. Candy Machine pub key, right? And then next step is to set a start date for our Candy Machine mint. And for this tutorial, I want to show it right away. So I'm gonna set a date in the past. So you can see here, similar to the previous command, we have the file to the original JSON file, then date, and then the actual date. And you need to respect the format right here. So I'm gonna run the command. Right, this is done. So what we have is the start date with the timestamp. So that timestamp represents this date. So we want to copy the timestamp right here. And then I'm going to save it here as well. Right. So once this is done, we want to create the new UI for the Candy Machine. So I'm going to go into that repo. And similar to earlier, I'm going to copy the URL right here. And I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to do cd dot dot. So now I'm back at the root. And I'm going to type git clone and paste the URL. Right, so now the URL is, the repo has been cloned. So we want to go back and create a new window. And then we'll open the folder. Open. And I'll create a new terminal. And in that new terminal, I want to run yarn install. So this might take some time as well. So once this is done, you can see here it says mv .example. So that file we want to rename it. And just keep the env, so .env. And you can see here is a bunch of placeholder, right? So those placeholder are what we've saved earlier. So the first one is our first Candy Machine public key right here. So I copied it and replaced the placeholder. The second one, the ID, is the second Candy Machine key that we've saved. And then finally, the third one is the original wallet public key. So I'm gonna copy here and then paste it. And then obviously the React app candy start is the timestamp that we've saved earlier, right? So I'm gonna copy that and save it here. So you can see the network. We are on the devnet, so we don't need to change it. But if you were on the mainnet, you would need to change devnet for mainnet dash beta, and obviously you would need to change the URL right here. So once this is done, you can save the file. And now we want to run the command yarn build. Right, so this is done. So finally, what we need to do is run yarn start. And you can see it's opening a new window, a new tab. So it's basically creating our React app, our minting website. See, we have a connect wallet button, but we also get a prompt to connect automatically. So I'm gonna enter my password, unlock. And you can see here, this is my balance in terms of Sol. I have 10 NFTs to available. 0 has been redeemed. And yeah, and obviously we have 10 remaining. So if I click on mint here, see it's asking me to approve a transaction, which is 0.1 plus the gas fees. And you can approve it from here. See, congratulations, the mint has succeeded. And then see, I have my NFT right here. So that's it for today. In the next tutorial, I will show you how to style this website and where to host it and deploy it. So thank you.